Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco, Dish Out on the Movies, and it's Friday, and I am helping Marco do a review again. He's had laryngitis, so that is why he doesn't really speak much, if at all. So, today it's going to be a new movie. In fact, you may have heard of it. Venom 3.
And of course, as soon as we start the review, the motorcycle has to start outside.
That's okay. I don't think anybody will be able to hear it much. Venom 3: The Last Dance. And I will not be able to comment at all about Venom because I have never seen a Venom movie and I really am not familiar with the character. So, I just wanted to make that clear. All right, prologue. And I'm reading Marco's words, okay? He writes out his reviews and I'm reading them and, editing a tiny bit, mostly just leaving it as is. All right? I am a big fan of the Venom character. I was heavily excited about the first Venom only for Sony to pull a bait and switch and make it PG-13. Then I refused to watch the Venom movies. For some reason, I wanted to check this one out to see if maybe they improved over the course of a trilogy. Since Eddie and Venom were almost killed in the last movie, a codex plot device was created inside of them. They are on the run from the military, the government, and I don't know, he has K-N-U-L-L, Null, a comic book villain who sits on his butt the whole movie doing nothing. The villain wants the codex so he can free himself from his underworld prison, which would explain why he's not doing anything since he's in an underworld prison. Okay. Non-spoiler review. I did not enjoy the first 3/4 of this movie very much. It was boring and felt like a bad road trip movie. The last fourth was a Godzilla monster movie with some good emotion. I liked the dynamic between Eddie and Venom. I also liked the woman, and that would be Dot from Fargo season 5, and she was really good and she didn't even get an award. At least somebody did, but not her. And seeing the new and different symbiote creatures. But this movie's, quote, story, quote, was paper thin and dumbed down, which is stupid. I would not watch this movie again or return and rewatch the other 2 Venom movies. I do not know if it's the best of the trilogy since I haven't really seen the other 2. If this is the best they have, then Sony is even more pathetic than I thought. His grade, and remember, I will remind you again, if you're new or you haven't listened to many of the reviews, when we review a movie or a TV series, not an episode of a TV show, but a series, we grade it with food. So good food, bad food, weird food, whatever food that struck us in a way that's similar to our thoughts about a movie or TV series. So this is Marco's grade. My favorite grade school lunch was cheese-filled breadsticks with marinara sauce, chocolate milk, and a Little Debbie fudge round. A good school lunch, but not a good lunch in general. And only the best because it's better out of all the other trash they served. There's a part at the beginning of the movie where Venom and Eddie make...
Now you say spoilers.
Okay, this is a spoiler, although Marco said no spoilers, but now this is the spoiler part, okay? Just want to make sure. so stop listening if that's a problem for you. There's a part at the beginning of the movie where Venom and Eddie make a cocktail together. It is shot in such a way where it reminds me of those YouTube videos where the celebrity teaches you how to make a cocktail. And then he has the words, "come back." A lot of this movie feels like it was made by a factory. What do people like? Puppies. So let's have Venom randomly encountering an illegal Mexican puppy mill operation. And to me, that's ridiculous. There's puppy mills all over the United States. And take them down. People like horses. So let's have Venom attach himself to a horse to chariot Eddie around. Then again, this is exactly what Deadpool and Wolverine was like too. So I can't completely complain. And that is true that even a commercial, they will put in an animal or animals, that because people like them and they will be more inclined to watch whatever it is they're putting on if there is an animal or animals in it. For example, Subaru likes golden retrievers, and golden retrievers are really beautiful, smart dogs, and people like watching those commercials. This movie feels like those bad early 2000s video games that were based on good movies. It is equally silly and brain dead. What's frustrating with this movie is just like with the last two, they had all the right ingredients to make a good Venom movie. They had the main woman from Fargo season 5. Her name was Dot, so that's why I'm calling her. I don't even know her real name, and I apologize. And she is really good. They had Tom Hardy, the guy from 12 Years a Slave, the ability to make an R-rated movie, endless talent to hire to write this movie, endless comics to base the story from, the ability to tie it in with Superman movies, etc.
Spider-Man.
I said Spider-Man, didn't I?
No, you said Superman.
I don't know why I have this mental fixation with Spider-Man and Superman, but he's saying Spider-Man, and I apologize if I said Superman. I apologize. There was no excuse for this movie to be this dumb. All the creative choices felt like strange misinterpretations from things that have worked for other comic book movies in the past and present. For example, they treat Null, that's that K-N-U-L-L, like Thanos from the MCU. Remember that guy? By having him sit on his throne dictating throughout the entire movie. This does not work. In the MCU, he only sat on his throne for all of 10 seconds in a post-credit scene or two. Even in his Avengers 2 post-credit scene, he walked up to the Infinity Gauntlet and put it on. Then in Guardians of the Galaxy 1, he was present throughout the movie, actively doing things. We also heard about him doing things in various places. In Venom 3, he just sits around, and then we hear other characters say, "The end is null," instead of "the end is near." Very, very lame. One of the weirdest decisions was to cast the guy who played the Lizard in The Amazing Spider-Man as this random hippie father guy. It feels like a slap in the face to fans who might have theorized his return as the Lizard. In fact, this whole movie feels like a slap in the face. What could have been a strong, dark, and grounded R-rated adult comic book franchise was nerfed and turned into a weird PG-13 adult kid hybrid. I don't understand the decision to want to market a villainous character like Venom to children, even if he is an anti-hero in this universe. It feels like an inherently adult franchise that should have been treated as such. Kids love Deadpool, so they would love an R-rated Venom too, right? The only part I liked so far was when Eddie needed to get some fancy clothes as a disguise, so Venom knocked a drunk guy out, dragged his body behind a pillar, and immediately came out changed in 2 seconds. That felt comic booky. Oh my God. Eddie turns into Venom so he can do an extended dance with some woman he knows. Every time he is fully Venom, it gives a signal to his location to the other symbiotic bad guys. This is so dumb. Why would he do this? Plot convenience? Above all, that is why this movie is called Venom: The Last Dance. Because of an idiotic, out-of-character decision Eddie makes that speeds up the movie's, quote, plot. Somehow, the hippie family makes their way into Area 51. And you know what that is, right? Aliens, New Mexico, and is allowed to look around at a tower they have there. Very unrealistic. They're then allowed to go inside a secret lab as an alien attack is happening and just chill out and watch it happen. WTF! This family would have been brutally murdered in the X-Files. This family, though, is then saved by Venom in a silly action sequence. This feels like the Russian family storyline from the Joss Whedon Justice League, but done wrong. The family is then taken out of danger only for the father to return and bazooka a monster to save Eddie at the last minute. The family is continuously involved in the action in the last sequence. I have no idea why they were such important characters. The last 30 minutes of this movie feels like a Godzilla movie, which I said earlier, but with symbiotes. It was cool seeing that woman from Fargo, Dot, become a symbiote too. She's a pink one. I like the emotion they injected into the final part of Venom 3, but I didn't like the decision to kill Venom. He gets wasted on 3 or 4 symbiote creature henchmen.
And it makes him look really weak too, because it's like you think Venom is this mega strong character. I don't think he's ever died in the comics. And he dies by absorbing the other henchman creatures, and then they pour acid on him and blow him up, and it's like they just made him look really weak there.
That's sad and terrible and stupid. Henchmen are the villains of this movie. I'm in awe. That Knoll villain is complete trash too. Who would want to see more of him? He's a weird freak who sits around all day and does nothing. Of course, Marco, you have to remember he's in prison. But still, would he do more if he wasn't in prison? And he killed Venom before we could see him face off against Spider-Man and countless other Marvel characters. It is a travesty that Tom Hardy and this Venom were wasted by Sony on weak-kneed PG-13 movies. I feel empty at the end of this movie. What was the point? I'm getting a dry throat again. Sorry, I'm taking a short break. Take a little drink. Well, basically, it was a trailer for the dumbass Tom Holland Spider-Man 4. It serves the same purpose the Amazing Spider-Man 2 did in that way. I have no interest in seeing Spider-Man 4 at this point, or seeing any more of this Noel character. Sorry. I'd rather pick up a Venom comic book and fantasize about what it could have been and should have been with competent management at Sony. The ending credits are the biggest F-U the movie could have done. It's a montage of animals, a symbiotes. It's weird because only one or two of them were in the movie. So I don't know why they'd be showing us these. It feels like that cringeworthy part of The Amazing Spider-Man 2, where the guy wanders down the hallway with the Sinister Six suits in the background. And that's it. So I'm sorry I can't add anything to it. But it sounds like a good review, and like I said in other reviews, you can go see it if you want, but it sounds like Marco's saying don't waste your time. But that's entirely up to you, of course. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and become one of our over 600 subscribers. We welcome you with open arms, and that's it. So have a wonderful Friday. Goodbye, everybody.